So just got here on competition day and it's poured down with rain overnight. If you can tell, everything's soaking wet. It's forecast to be wet all day, so that's not going to be fun. But yeah, we've just got to go do the briefing now, and then we'll go out for some practice. We get about 2 hours of practice, I think, this morning, which doesn't equate to that many laps, especially if you have a problem or something you have to come off track at all. So yeah, we don't get too much practice, and then we're straight into qualifying. So we'll see what this is like in the wet. Right, so we just finished the briefing. They've actually moved a couple of clips since yesterday. Obviously it's soaking wet, so the track's going to be very different anyway. But what they've done is move clip 2 out a little bit. You can't see that from here, but yeah, they've moved it out a bit, which should help me because I was struggling to get deep into that. But the kind of bigger change is that this clip, this inside clip, which is clip 5, they've moved it out and a bit further forward. So that should make it a lot easier to get to clip 6, because what was happening if you came like front wheels through here, I was only just getting onto like the C line of clip 6, which is over there. So now if you come in a bit further out to start with, that should be a lot easier. Obviously it's going to be very different in the wet, but yeah. They also said the line through here, because they've moved that out a little bit, should be a bit easier to run like a sort of mid line through here, which is what I was doing originally. But then because of this clip and the way I was getting set up there, found I had to run sort of deeper into this and then cut back to get like a slingshot out here. Hopefully we won't need to do that now. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. You got any thoughts on the matter?
It's much scarier from the actual track.
It's much scarier. Yeah, I told you, when you walk the track, you're like, oh, it's a long distance to cover, isn't it? So we're just about to go out. Bryn is just checking the toe angle, just so we've got a baseline measurement for if we have any knocks or anything.
Because it's wet and somebody will crash.
Yeah,
maybe us.
You probably couldn't hear that, but because it's wet, somebody will crash, it'll probably be us, is what he said. So yeah, we're getting a baseline measurement for the toe so that if we need to adjust anything later after something gets knocked, we know what to set it back to. I've also just checked the logs on the ECU from yesterday. So these are the 2 runs where we had an issue, where it's only getting up to like 5.5 grand, whereas normally at this part of the run, I guess there's 6 there, normally at this part of the run it's at like 7.5, something like that. So on this run and the one before it was only getting to that. Or this one, the next one, sorry. But we've looked at everything, there's nothing obvious. There's no like ECT, which is coolant trim, there's no intake air temp trim, anything like that. And it's not pulling time in massively, none of the temperatures are crazy, so basically we still don't know, is the long and short of it, which is unfortunate because I was really hoping to just see something in there that would explain why that was happening. But no, unfortunately not. I'm going to send the logs to Mark at Abbey Motorsport anyway and see if he can see anything. But yeah, because it's wet, hopefully it won't be a problem today anyway, but we'll go see. Alright, so we're going out for the very first lap of wet practice. We've only got 2 hours, like I said. Or less than 2 hours actually, an hour and a half at this point. We've gone for slightly higher tyre pressures than normal as well in the wet. Like obviously we've not increased them over yesterday, but I haven't dropped them as much as I normally would. The logic there being that if you've got a lot of grip on the grippy parts, because the track changes loads, like this guy's dancing to warm up. The track is like super grippy in some parts, super slippy in others. I'll explain the logic in a second when we've done this run. Whoa, fucking hell. That's pretty slippy then. Sorry, guy. Fucking hell. We actually made that perfectly there, but wasn't expected. Oh my god, it's so slippy. Fucking hell, there's grippy there, and then slippy there. Okay, so that's interesting. Fucking hell. Yeah, that's awkward, because on the entry, so I did the flick, and it was actually a bit more grippy than I thought. So I was like, right, I'll give it a fair bit of throttle around here, and yeah, then it was not grippy at all. So that's going to be a tricky one to get the hang of throughout the day. But yeah, so anyway, what I was saying about tyres, because the track, like you can see, there's just so many different types of tarmac, right? So even in one corner, you'll go through about 2 or 3 different like levels of grip. You'll have one bit that's like quite grippy, and then one bit that's like ice. So rather than like lowering the tyre pressures loads, like I normally do in the wet, we've gone for like just sort of medium tyre pressure. We're on like 23 psi, 24 psi, something like that, cold. So the logic being that then there's less of a change in grip, because you're just going from like slippy to slightly slippier, rather than grippy to really slippy, if that makes sense. I don't know, I've probably done a terrible job of explaining that, but that's the logic, and we'll see how it works out in practice. Kind of made that work. Oh god, that was so fucking slippy. That's the area I really need to remember, is coming between clip 10 and 11, it just suddenly goes like ice and you just get sucked out to the edge of the track. Still caught me out, even though I was so tentative on the throttle there. Jesus. Yeah, there was a few extra handbrake drags there again, but there shouldn't have been. I don't think we got clip 2 either. Thought I was going to spin out again. It's so awkward, man. It's so grippy on the way in, and then just about 3/4 of the way around clip 2, it just gets around the first corner. It just gets super slippy. Yeah, I was happy enough with like 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 though, that felt good, and then into 9. And I think I braked a bit early into 9. It seems to be gripping up a bit, like as in the track is getting a bit more grippy. I think because it's not really raining that heavily now and there's a lot of people going around constantly, the actual sort of racing line or drifting line is drying up a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of making things even more confusing. Right, so they've just held up the sign saying last run. I thought we had like another 2 or 3, so that's really worrying because I haven't put together a single decent lap yet. Fucking hell, qualifying is going to be rough, man, because the track conditions will have probably changed by then even more. And like I say, I haven't even put together a good lap yet. So yet again, we might not qualify. Now we've got the same problem again with it cutting power. Fuck. I think that's got to be fuel then, because that's as we've got lower on fuel. Why the fuck have I got a surge tank that can't handle 4.5 seconds of flat out third gear? What the hell? That's got to be fuel. That's the only thing that's changed there, apart from, you know, stuff is getting gradually hotter and hotter, I guess. But I mean, that the queue time was long enough there, and none of the coolant temps or anything were getting hot, that I don't think it can be temps.
Just finished morning practice. Line was looking pretty good. I'm happy with where we are for qualifying. Very last run we had a lack of power issue again, but we're quite low on fuel. You can hear the pumps, so we think that's probably it. So we're sending some logs now to Market Abbey, who is going to have a quick look through, make sure it's nothing else, but we're pretty happy that it's going to be fuel. Stick some more in. Other than that, how are you feeling?
Not great, because we didn't really get a solid practice lap, did we? Like the whole thing, because I don't know, I didn't do a single good run of the whole thing, and now we got to qualify. So yeah, not great. But it's always just such a lottery with the weather when it's wet. So hopefully other people will be in a similar situation. They'll be feeling out the grip levels and stuff. But it depends. It really depends how everyone else does. So all we can do is the best that we can do. So we'll put more fuel in. Hope that sorts this issue, because if that happens in qualifying, I'm definitely not qualifying. Yeah, that's all we can do.
I think he's being grumpy. I think we actually did pretty well in practice, really, and he should qualify well. A lot of people have been getting the line through the bus stop wrong. They're too late round the corner, and then they're transitioning too late, and they're coming through 5 on the inside, which Chris hasn't been doing. So actually I think he's in a really good position, but we'll see if I eat my words now in qualifying and we don't qualify.
This is a wheel. This is a door.
Right, so we're just getting gridded up for qualifying. You can see everyone over there. I'm parked here waiting for this guy. I'm going to go out behind him. This bit is normally quite a shit show, to be honest, because you see Colgate running around chasing people up. It's always a bit of a mess because people will be sat in the pit still when they need to be down here, and then you end up with like big gaps in the queue and stuff where you're waiting for people to fill in. It gets messy, but we're about the 13th or 14th person out, I think. There's already people going out already at the moment. It takes quite a while, this queue, to go down because you have to wait for someone to finish an entire run, whereas normally they'll start sending people sort of half around the track when we're doing the practice laps. But for qualifying, they've got to wait for the entire run to finish, and then like maybe a replay or something if the judges want to see something, and then also wait for the scores from the judges to come in so that all the live stream stuff's done, and then they send the next person, and then they've got to do like a little intro for that person or whatever, and then so it takes quite a long time to get through all the cars. We get 2 qualifying runs, and it's whichever is your best score counts. It's not like an average of the 2 or anything like that. So yeah, we get to go out and do 1, and then we have a long ass wait because then we've got to join the back of that huge queue that you just saw. Join the back of that, wait for everyone to do all their runs again, and then you get your second qualifying run. So yeah, we're next up. It's been about half an hour now since my last lap of practice. Hopefully we don't have any problems with the car again like we did on the last lap. We put a bit more fuel in, so hopefully that sorts that. We're fairly confident that's it. That is what it is now, but I don't know. First section was bad. That first section was bad. Second section was actually quite good, but yeah, the whole bit through the bus stop I was way too far on the inside. I can't even really remember exactly why or what caused that. I think yet again thought I was going to spin out on clip 2, and then everything after that is just trying to recover basically. So horrible. I don't know why I can't get the hang of that. Like, I know it's slippy there, but it doesn't seem to matter what I do. It just feels horrible. So yeah, it's not going to be a good score. It really depends how everyone else does though, like I was saying before. So we got 56 for that, which puts us in 3rd place at the moment, but only like 12 or 13 people have been, so it doesn't really mean a lot yet. But that's good that at least we're not like last out of those 12 or 13 people, I guess. So we're going out for our second run of qualifying now, but it has pissed it down in between. It's still raining quite a bit. Yeah, it's rained a lot in between the first run and this second run. Apparently we are in 24th position at the moment. Of the top 32 go through to battles, so we need to finish inside the top 32. We're 24th at the moment after everyone's done their first run. But obviously everyone gets a second run. A lot of people might improve. We need to improve, definitely. But apparently a lot of people have been getting zeros and spinning out on the first corner. So I've got to be super wary of that. Obviously I feel like I'm about to every time. And now it's going to be more slippery than it was. So I think the plan is to just kind of sacrifice that first corner a bit, just to at least be then on a decent line to get the rest of it and to not spin out there. So I'm not going to go wild into that first corner. I'm going to play it pretty safe. The trouble is that it gets grippy sort of halfway around it, so a lot of people have been understeering, which happened to me a bit on the first run. So yeah, it's so hard because if you don't give it enough throttle, you'll understeer and stop drifting. If you give it too much throttle, you'll spin out, but the margin between the two is like so small. What would Ollie Evans do? He's the guy who won BDC Pro last year. He'd be sat here. He does videos very similar to mine actually. If you like these videos, go check his out. He has a lot of helmet cam footage from all of his runs. He swears a lot. It's basically just my videos, but better in every possible way, really. Except he bleeps out the swearing, so, you know, it's obviously a bit of a fucking pussy. But yeah, he would be sat here saying, don't be shit, don't be shit. But then he goes out and does a shit run, so, you know, don't really work for him, does it? I'm just kidding, Ollie, if you're watching this. Right, so we are next up for our second qualifying run. It's still pouring down with rain. Might have to go full wipers, boys. We might have to go full wipe. Oh, I don't know. Not so keen on the streaks that's leaving behind. Plan is tentative first corner. Try and make up for that in the rest of the track. There's water coming in. Go away, water. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, full wipes. Need to do something. Right, this looks really fucking wet now. Oh god, I don't know what to do on this first corner. I don't want to grip up and understeer, but I'm scared to give it like any throttle in these conditions. Fucking hell. I'm actually quite nervous for this one for some reason. Not normally. Yeah, that's fucking slippy. Oh, fuck. Fuck, that was bad. I don't know, man, that was probably worse than the first run. It was a long old handbrake dragging that bus stop bit. Because I got used to the rest of it being really slippy, and then you get onto that bit, and because it's uphill, the water's not staying on there as much, so it's grippy there. Yeah, I don't know, man, there were some bits of that run that were better than the first one and some bits that were worse, so that's probably going to average out to being pretty similar. So I expect we'll still be sat in like sort of mid-20th position. Oh, apparently we got literally the exact same score as the first run, so I was right. It did average out to be about the same. Apparently we went 2 wheels off somewhere, which is what cost us a lot of points on that one. Right, so we're currently watching the live stream to see if other people are improving their scores or not, basically. Because we are 27th, or are we 28th now?
28th now. So we came off track about 15 minutes ago, and we were in 27th, and so far only one driver has knocked us down a position. There's very few guys left now.
And this is looking like a good one.
Yeah, but
is he already in?
Yeah, a lot of them are already higher than us. The people who are lower aren't generally improving, so I'm reasonably confident we're going to be in the 32.
But we're going to be like 30th or something, probably.
Yeah. There's not many.
No, he was
people.
out of it. It's
yeah, so he's going to knock us down a spot.
Yeah, so he's knocked us down.
But in all that time, we've only had 2 people knock us down a spot.
He nailed it. This always happens. Whenever I watch runs, everyone does really well. Bryn will be saying, yeah, people are struggling, and then I watch one run and they nail it. I'm like, oh god. Yeah, we've also just sent these logs to Mark at Abbey Motorsport. He's sending us a tweaked map file back that's going to add some extra logging to see if we can diagnose this problem that we were having. That's the hard bit of the track.
Of course he's struggling. Have you seen it? Oh, 2 wheels off again.
We're 30 seconds, so if anyone beats us now, or anyone gets into top 32 now, we're out.
Score 56.3.
Fuck you, James. We like you.
We like.
Genuinely, he's really nice.
He's a nice guy. Fuck that run, James. You can do better.
Taking a long time because they're just checking what they need to do to get you out.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Is it because I swear too much in my videos, BDC? Is that why you don't like me?
Because you don't promote BDC Insider?
Probably. Yeah, if this guy gets a better score than 56, we're out. 3 people left, we think.
One of which, so the big one is Max Cotton. If Max Cotton does a run...
Max Cotton, who by the way is leading the Pro-Am Championship and the Pro Championship or something, like he's like second in Pro or something, he's like one of the best drivers here. and if he does a good run, we're out. So that's not a great position to be in, really, is it?
Lindsay, if you can hear me, can you like put some washing up liquid down on the entry? Oh, I know one of the marshals.
We're not sabotaging anyone. Why are you talking about this like it's actually happening? We're not sabotaging anyone. Oh, he's got a bit of bodywork or a coat.
What if that bit of bodywork severs an oil line and covers the track in oil for Max's run? Spin, 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 spin.
That's pretty perfect so far. This ain't looking good because he's done a
2 wheels off.
2 wheels up, but the rest of the run's a lot better.
Yeah, they're
than
not
mine.
gonna.
Yeah, we're out. We're out because that's a pretty good one. It's not perfect, but that's way better than mine. Well, boys, I'm pretty sure the next screen will tell us if we're in or not.
Or not.
You're pretty sure we're not. Yeah, we're just out. We're 33rd. Literally 1 more point in our qualifying run and we would have been in.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh well. Oh well. That's a shame, but what are you going to do? We tried. We tried our best. But yeah, that is a shame. So now we're going to go watch everyone else in battles, although it's pouring down with rain, so I don't
swear
really...
at Max when he comes back.
Yeah, swear at Max.
This fucking guy just knocked us out of qualifying, you bastard.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
But now you got a win for us.
I'll try. It's very, very, very slippy.
It's horrendous, isn't it?
It
But
is.
honestly, nice one and good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Bastard.
How was your day, Bryn?
It was wet and cold and grim, and you kept complaining that you were too hot, and I wanted to strangle you to death because I was.
Well, that was yesterday.
It was even worse yesterday. It was freezing.
How was it worse yesterday? It's been pouring down with rain all day.
Warm rain.
It's not warm rain. I'm
Warm
freezing.
compared to yesterday, trust me. Unfortunately, that's the end of our day. Qualifying was quite exciting because we didn't do that well in terms of a run, and it literally came down to the very final run to find out whether or not we got through. Unfortunately, got knocked out by young Max Cotton, who, I mean, to be fair, somebody who deserved to get through, but still very annoying. Yeah. What do you think?
Is that your question?
I don't know. Is that a question?
I think it's a shame we didn't qualify again, because like last round it was like, this is a one-off, I've always qualified before. To have it happen 2 times in a row is a bit disheartening, but on the flip side, last time we knew we had the car set up really badly, like we had way too much toe in on the rear as an experiment that we didn't manage to change back before the round because one of the arms was seized. So I can kind of blame that as well as my bad driving. This time the weather is just, it's always a lottery in the wet. Don't get me wrong, like good drivers do well all the time. So like I'm not saying you can't do well consistently in the wet. Oh, we're getting loud.
Wet weather being a bit of a lottery.
Wet weather, yeah. Like obviously good drivers can do well consistently in the wet, but you can still see them struggle, and because I'm not that good, it's even more of a struggle. I mean, it's just random. So I did my best. I don't feel too bad. We put some decent runs together in practice. Like Bryn was saying earlier, I had like certain laps where I did like half the track really well, so, and then the other laps where I did the other half really well. It was just putting them all together. So I don't feel too bad in that, like it wasn't like I just couldn't do the track, but I just couldn't put it all together in one run consistently. So yeah, it is what it is. That's actually the last round, or the last event that this car is going to do. I've not actually explained that on camera yet, so I'll explain that more in the next video that you're going to see about the 370 and this and the plans for next year. But that is the last round of BDC that we're doing this year. There's one more round this year, but in November at Buxton, fuck doing that. So that's the last time this car is going to get drifted, pretty much. The engine will still get used. Turbos might still get used, but that was the final hurrah, qualifying 33rd. That was all she had in her. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed the longer video, because this is going to be like fucking hours long at this point. Showing you stuff that happened behind the scenes. There was a few things that we didn't manage to film, like just going and taking tyres to get changed. I wanted to kind of document, you know, exactly what you have to do and all the situation and stuff, but it's not very exciting, so you didn't miss much. But yeah, we're going to go watch some battles now. So I guess we'll end the video with just a few battles, however much we can be asked to film in the pouring rain. We'll end it there. So I didn't actually end up filming any of the battles in Pro-Am because it was fucking cold and rainy and miserable the whole time. And yeah, the battles weren't that interesting, to be honest, because it was so wet and slow. But we're just loading up now. Everyone else is finishing loading up. It's now the end of the second day, so we watched all the pro competition today. It was dry for the most part in pro, but then it rained right at the end. So yeah, it was a similar story to the Pro-Am battles at the end, unfortunately. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the longer video. Just going to load this up now. 3-hour drive home. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, which will be explaining what's happening to this thing over winter, what's happening to the 370 over winter, and the plans for next year. So yeah, we'll see you there.
Wild excitement, pizzazz.